welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. So, Asha, you're the lead on Immerse UK at Innovate UK, UK's leading membership organization and innovation network for immersive technology professionals. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so Immerse UK is the UK government's innovation network for XR professionals, as you mentioned.
Yep.
And our role is really to help to grow the immersive tech ecosystem and to help UK businesses in the sector to scale. So we do that by connecting businesses, the academic community, and the government to work together.
All together?
All together.
Oh, wow.
And then all of our work feeds back into the government to help to determine policy and innovation strategy and R&D funding strategies for the sector.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Beatrice, you're the founder of Green Evenement, a company helping event organizers and communication professionals with their sustainability strategies. Could you explain to us exactly what Green Evenement does?
So Green Evenement, if you are an event organizer or if you are part of producing events, basically we are your trusted partner about sustainability. So our job is to keep our ears and our eyes open about innovation in the sector of the event industry and to know the solution and the tools that can help you become more sustainable. We also help companies and events to reach certifications, labelizations. That's our job.
So pretty much with these kinds of events, the fact that people don't have to actually go there, they could join us from their home, I guess like the carbon footprint must go down a lot.
Yes, and we will be talking about that because we do have figures.
Okay. Asha, you have been working on a report on immersive economy that examines the trends in the immersive industry and ecosystem. We all have in mind the failure of Horizon World for Meta, so according to you, are immersive technologies such as metaverse, XR, etc., a real innovation for events or just a trend that will be forgotten in about like 2 years?
Absolutely not. They're not going anywhere. So this report you're citing is our 2022 Immersive Economy Report. We've done them for 3 years since 2018. And some of the key findings from that report are actually that the COVID-19 pandemic and the metaverse, the global metaverse trend, have had a net positive impact on the whole ecosystem.
Nice.
And has helped the industry to grow at a much rapid pace than we expected. Some other key findings are the fact that many companies adopting the technology are going from pilot stage to like much bigger rollouts of the technology. And this spans across many different sectors. And I think that's something that's, most people don't necessarily understand, is that the technology is not just in media entertainment, live events, which is, has a very important role, but it's also across sectors like health, manufacturing, architecture, engineering, construction. There's so many other sectors.
Education
is, yeah, of course. So it's kind of endless, the sectors, and we see that scaling more and more. And then the final thing is that, last year was the highest amount of private investment into the sector in the UK so far. So the trends are all looking very, very good.
Good. Wonderful. We've talked about trends and technologies in the event industry. This is a question for Beatrice. Maybe it's time to focus on how technologies can make a difference on social and environmental issues.
So there are two angles to think about that. The first angle is about the technology itself. What does it bring to the event industry? So it does have a lot of positive impacts. For example, thanks to this kind of technology, we are able to reach out to more people that didn't used to be, touched by some information. I mean, today, for me, it's great because sometimes it's hard, when you talk in front of a video, in a video camera. But thanks to these technologies, it feels that we are, right, with all of these people right now. So we can reach out to more people. You mentioned carbon emission. And it is true, not for all events, and we'll talk about figures later, but it is true that for a lot of events, especially like international events where a lot of people, wouldn't move if there was not this kind of technologies, you do decrease by a large amount carbon emissions. The other angle, and that's the one we like to use too at Green Evenement, is how we can use technologies to be better in sustainability. So for example, we created a tool that is called Climate, and it helps event organizers know what is their carbon footprint. And so they can act and reduce their carbon footprint. That works for physical events and as well for digital events. And that is the first part when you want to be sustainable, is to know exactly what you're doing, to measure it. So then after you can act on it.
Okay. Do you want to add something about sustainability in events?
Well, yeah, there's actually a case study I'd like to point to, and I wish they'd had your tool to make these measurements. But there's a VR event that was done by one of our partners, Educators in VR. It was actually early 2020 before the pandemic happened, and they did an event that spanned an entire week. It ran 24/7. There was thousands of attendees and hundreds of speakers, which is something you couldn't run live anyway,
yeah.
Across all the different time zones and everything. It was highly successful, and, they afterwards had one of their academic partners do a kind of an estimate of the carbon savings, and it was something around like 95%.
Okay, wow.
So it is really significant. It's something that we then, we had an event that we did around COP26 last year, and then again for COP27, kind of highlighting this about the intense carbon saving, and having this kind of awesome tool that I just found out about, which is fantastic, I think is really important for the future events and sustainability.
And it's true that so we started measuring the difference between physical and digital events. And for example, now we do have some data. So for digital events like that, we know that the average footprint by participant is between 0.5 and 5 kilos of carbon by participant. Okay, so that's still a big range, 0.5 to 5, and that's how well you work with all of this, equipment and how you travel, etc. And for physical events, basically, as soon as you are talking about an event that is at the regional level or international level, you are always above 5 kilos by person, and it's much higher when it's like international events. Yeah. So it means that, yes, if you use digital and technology tools in a right way, you can actually have a lot of carbon, you can avoid a lot of carbon emissions.
Wow. What would be your advice, Beatrice, to event organizers to include those concerns in the design of their next event?
Well, the first, basically, maybe 3 steps. First step is to know what you want to, how you want to reach your participants. Today, a lot of people talked about emotion. And so what do you want to bring to your participant? Do you just want to bring information? Do you want people to meet each other? Do you want them to touch each other? That is still, for now, a bit hard, with some technology. And so you can decide on what part of your event is physical, what part is digital, what part is immersive. And so that's the first part. Then, whatever your decision is, you need to have tools like Climate to measure what are your emissions. And of course, the last part is to have a plan of action to decrease your emissions. Talking about digital events, there is a lot that can be done. Choosing the right partners, choosing the right equipment, how do you broadcast the information, how long do you have it stay online, how do you store it? So basically, as I said before, like digital technology can be very efficient to have more sustainable events as long as you use them the right way.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to both of you for joining. We're going to gamify again this event a little bit more with the final and last part of the immersive quiz. Guys, get ready.